We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're gonna have to keep on saying that. You're gonna have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs. That's what the pastors are doing. That's what the pastors are doing all over the world.
Ven, ven, ven a New Yorico. Bienvenidos. Somos amigos. En New Yorico, ven, ven, ven a New Yorico. Bienvenidos, somos amigos. En New Yorico, the palm trees are tall like the skyscrapers. The entrance says welcome over the gate. And Margarita lost a shoe bailando salsa. She threw away the other to dance descalza. Such a hard life she's after, but she smiles like a fool at Pablo in his yellow Malibu, singing Babalu after winning at Capicu. Who knew that the spirit stands mambo to hip hop? Eating snowflakes in tropical pit stops. This place we forgot. The puddles of our hearts flood out in large amounts. Come drinks for all the natives. Look around, we all related. Peace and love, so underrated. Que bueno que you made it to the best place in town. From Puerto Rico all the way to the boogie down. Check the smells and sounds in the underground that you found here. Check out the sabor in every flavor as the owner Pedro counts his pesos, giving besos.
Today we have someone who is the epitome of epic. Puerto Rican Women Legacy Award winner, Edgar Allan Poe Award for Excellence in Writing from the Bronx Historical Society, and very, very dope hip-hop artist, La Bruja, and comedian as well. I forgot that one. Ma'am, welcome. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
It's my pleasure. I'm really, really happy to be here. Thank you so much. Don't be nervous.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the reason where Marcus is nervous is because you could, judging by the, like going by the music that we see in your first album, or even the second album, like your earlier work, it seems like you could well have been a revolutionary pop star, like a pop superstar, because like you were making music exactly with the same sound that could be considered the pop sound of that time, but also at the same time being able to be authentically yourself and keep to a revolutionary message, a radical message at the same time that you would not hear from other artists who were making music with that sound. So can you talk about how you started out and what you set out to achieve in your initial years, and did you see that vision changing over time, or are you still on that path?
I think I may have been ahead of my time. I think I don't think the world was ready for me and for my message and for my authenticity. I think what held me back was that I don't really pander to patriarchy, and so it's been a tough road, especially in a sexist industry, to be a woman of substance that wasn't using my sexuality to promote my work, so it's been a challenging road. I did have a record deal at one point, and because I wouldn't do what they were asking me to do. I wouldn't write the things they were asking me to write. It hindered the career commercially, but I still continued to create and was able to create my own niche and my own path. And I'm really grateful for that because, at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself in the mirror, and I also, have 2 children. They were small at the time. They're 23 and 21 now. But at the time I had to do things that that I could make sure that my children wouldn't have to bear the brunt of shame, because of what I might be doing. And so I chose integrity over money. And and some, not. There were times that I, had to do things like, I had to do a McDonald's commercial for the money. I had to do, a little bit of reggaeton, even though I'm not really a reggaeton artist because I was Puerto Rican. They wanted me to do reggaeton, but I'm born and raised in the Boogie Down Bronx. I think the first Boricua Latina MC out of the Bronx was Hurricane G, and and I think I was the second. But like I said, I wasn't going to fall in line with that formula that everybody is always after. And luckily, I have a repertoire of creativity that has sustained me. My revolutionary work, my activism work. I'm born and raised in Soundview section of the Bronx, and still here. And it started with poetry at the New Yorican Poets Cafe, but then, it expanded into, I did a one-woman show. I studied John Leguizamo and studied Danny Hock and Whoopi Goldberg and did a one-woman show called Boogie Rican Boulevard. And then I was recognized by Spike Lee, and then Spike Lee put me in Bamboozled. And then from Bamboozled, I got my Screen Actors Guild card and was able to do acting and, and then voiceover. And, so like I was always told, like, you should just do one thing. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because it was doing all of those things that has been able, to sustain me, up to this point. And, when times were hard, I also taught what I was doing, so I had that part too. I would, part of my activism work was going into Rikers and, incarceration facilities for the gamut of, people from the youth, the women to the men. I was in there teaching poetry, and believing in the power of art and self-expression. But I started on an open mic at the New Yorican Poets Cafe, and now I still host the open mics at the New Yorican Poets Cafe. When the pandemic hit, I was the first to have an online open mic Thursday nights, and it went international. And we have a beautiful family of poets, and it's been a very colorful journey. And I mean, I have dealt with sexual harassment, sexual attacks, and that's been, I think, the biggest challenge as a woman, in the industry, has been dealing with that side, the expectations that society has of a woman, and breaking those things down and still finding a way to keep pushing on. But if I didn't love what I do, I certainly wouldn't have survived. It was really the love of it all, and a lot of people ask me, like, how can I get into this? It's like, you got to do this because you would die if you didn't. Like, you really live this. And I live this. And I'm very, very grateful to be 25 years as La Bruja.
Which,
25 years.
And that's, especially on, like, we have focused largely on, like, hip hop artists. And so you're familiar with, like, Nejma Nefertiti and Napoleon the Legend. We have featured one of the songs that you're on, Strange Love, which, like, your verse in Strange Love goes hard. It goes so hard. But I do want to go kind of back to, it's the initial, it's like 2010, when one of your albums was coming out, but I know there's a very recognizable name, Jadakiss, that I'm not sure.
A lot of people haven't even heard that song. I called it Beso Peligroso, which means dangerous kiss, because it was actually, that song was funded by a Puerto Rican artist that was also a dealer. And so he was able to afford to pay Jadakiss to do it. And he paid me to get in on the hook. And that's how that happened. That wasn't even.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a song for the streets.
Yeah, it was a street song. And a lot of people haven't heard it. And I wasn't even able to upload it because I really didn't have the right to do so. But, I shared it on my Brujalicious mixtape, which I still have on CD. But my bars were hard on that one too. I was really proud of that. And I wrote the hook, sang the hook. And yeah, and I called it Beso Peligroso because the artist that paid for it was called Peligro, which means danger. And Jada Kiss is Beso, so Beso Peligroso.
Yeah. Well, and that, I mean, it ties into like that's an even amazing story. But I was wondering though, because something with your music is like you've kept going, right? This, especially too with Strange Love and some of even the features you've been on, like within the past year or so. I guess, can you talk about that? Of like, is it something difficult to interchange between the mediums, music, poetry, comedy, or is do you consider yourself an artist with words, and you get to pick between which canvas you're going to work with?
I have said this before, but I really do feel like all of those things are fingers, and I use them all to pack a punch. So, you know, I don't have a favorite finger. I use them all. And when I need to do what I need to do, I just do. I've also been performing since I was a little kid, you know, so it is more natural to me, you know, even though making it look easy is work. You know, I have worked my whole life at this, so it seems more effortless, but yeah, it's taken a long time to make it seem so. And luckily I have a great sense of humor, because I had to have a sense of humor with all the crazy things that have happened to me. It would either, you know, you either have to laugh at it or cry.
Yeah.
You know, and also, you know, I was raised in a Latino family, a Puerto Rican family, you know, a lot of macho men in my family. And the only way that they would really listen to me was if I could make them laugh. So that also, you know, sharpened the blade.
Yeah.
To be heard. That was, you know, something I had to do just to listen to and acknowledged. And, you know, now, I mean, the men in my family love me very much and support me very much, but it took time to get to that point
You got to
too.
pack a few punches.